What's up guys, it's Drew from Taylor Tech, back again at the Blake house. We are on episode 3 of the Smart Home series. Today we are going to be working on the Ecobee thermostat. We're going to be replacing this contractor grade thermostat, run of the mill, nothing smart about it. So we have the Ecobee over here in our pile of products. Got the Ecobee3, it comes with 3 room sensors. So we will put those room sensors, probably one in the bedroom, one in the loft, and maybe one in the cafe over here. Figure that out a little bit later on. The first step that we're going to need to do is pull power to the furnace AC unit on the breaker board down below, or in the basement, so we don't worry about shorting anything out. So we'll head downstairs and get that done. Air conditioner, already off. Furnace, 26. Furnace is off. Now, when you do turn off the breaker to the furnace, it's hard to make sure that it is off, because if the temperature is set correctly, it will not obviously run, and most thermostats run on batteries. So when we get back to the thermostat here, you will see that it is still showing on, but since that is because it is battery powered. So what we'll do is we'll turn the heat up past the set point, hear the thermostat kick on, but we will go back downstairs and make sure that the furnace is not actually kicking on, and it is not running. Another thing we could do is flip this switch here, but we've already got the power off. Okay, so most thermostats like this should just be able to pop off one way or another. There we go. So set that down. It looks like we have standard connections here. We don't have any high voltage or anything like that. If you see high voltage wiring, 120, that's high voltage. That's not something you want to mess with. I would call an electrician, or make sure you know what you're doing if you do have that. We have basic HVAC wiring here. We'll go ahead and take this plate off and get the Ecobee ready to go. So let's go ahead and do the unboxing over here of the Ecobee. Alright, so in the box we have the thermostat itself. We have one room sensor here, little instruction that says download the Ecobee app to begin your installation. I don't think that's really necessary, we'll wait on that. This is a power lead, or whatever it's called. We're not going to need it for our installation. This is if you don't have a C-wire, which is constant power. We do have that for this installation. We have 2 more room sensors. Like I mentioned before, we'll be installing in some different rooms. Wall anchors for those, as well as a little stand for the sensors, I would imagine. We got some hardware in the box here. Looks like sticky stuff for the sensors maybe. Under that we have the wall plate. This is for covering up the old thermostat. Let's see, some stickers, installation guide, blah blah blah. Got some wire labels, that's nice, we'll go ahead and use that as well. So let's go ahead and we'll use these stickers. Let's head over back to the thermostat. So as you can see down here, we have our wires labeled. OB is not using RC. That's a jumper from RC to RH that's used here. I'm not sure if we're going to need that yet, but we will label it. We have G, typically green, W, white, Y, yellow, and then C, that's our constant that we will need. So I'll go ahead and label all these and we'll get going. So now that all the wires are labeled, we'll go ahead and take off this old wall plate. Okay, so once the old thermostat backplate is off, you have two options of a backplate you want to use. You can use the default one, which is a bit smaller, but in our case we have a screw hole here and some line here from the other thermostat. So we're going to go ahead and use the larger one to cover all that up. In order to use the larger one, you do need to pop this inner portion off. So this is the plate we will not be using. So we'll pop this piece into the other larger plate like so. Next we will position it where we want it, right about there, and there is a built-in level, so you can make sure that it is level. Perfect. Okay, and we're going to be using the included anchors with this. I have a drill with a right size drill bit on there, so I'll go ahead and drill where I marked. It appears we have a stud at the top part, so we will not need an anchor there. Go ahead and take one of these anchors and press it in here. Don't use this as a hammer. We got a stud at the top one, so I'll use a drill here. So now we need to go ahead and wire this up. Luckily, we already labeled our wires, so we are good to go. It's basically as simple as plugging in the wires. So RC goes in the R goes in the RC, G goes in the G, Y1 goes in the Y1. Get in there. RC goes in the C on this side. And W goes in the W1. Alright, so everything is wired up. Go ahead and push the excess back into the hole so it doesn't get in the way of the Ecobee. Okay, go ahead and peel this off. And it should be as simple as pressing into place. And it should load up after about a minute or two after I turn the breaker back on downstairs. So I will do that, and as soon as I do that, we should get a little message on the screen. 26, flip that back on. And now we should have power to the Ecobee. Hopefully it is powered up and waiting for us. So it might be hard to see with some of the lighting, but we do have the Ecobee logo on the screen now. It'll probably take a minute or two to boot up for the first time and get ready to go. The first prompt that came up was detected an RC wire. So we only connected the RC, so we'll click next. Everything here is correct. We do not have a humidifier, dehumidifier, or ventilator. Fahrenheit we prefer. So we have a fan, stage 1 cooling, furnace default. Yes, all this looks correct. You can choose a name from the list or enter your own. We will call it my Ecobee because we only have one thermostat in this house. So we want to set the ideal home temperature during the winter for heat setting. So we'll actually leave it at 70. That's how they had it set up before. And also for the summertime for cooling, we'll set that at, say, 75 for now. It can be changed later. We'll set the current mode to heat. And we'll enable Smart Home and Away, which uses this little sensor down here to detect when we are home to know if we want the Ecobee to save some energy. So we're in the United States. Our time zone is Chicago. Here we go. Now we need to connect it to Wi-Fi. So we'll use an iPhone, iPad or iPod, because that is a much more seamless process. If you don't, you can just go ahead and select Wi-Fi network on the display here. So we'll go into the iOS device, go to settings, Wi-Fi, ensure Wi-Fi is enabled, and choose our device. Okay, so it prompts us to go to settings, Wi-Fi, and choose the Ecobee. Here it is at the bottom here, set up new device. And it knows what Wi-Fi we are connected to on the phone. So from there it will communicate with the Ecobee and connect it to the Wi-Fi network. Alright, so we do have the Wi-Fi being connected. It had a little bit of a hiccup on the phone, but it did communicate. It says connection complete, your Ecobee3 is now connected to the server. So next, we'll set the date and time. Okay, so now it came up with a code that we'll need to enter into the Ecobee app, so I will get that from the App Store here. Okay, so in the app, it prompts us to register the device. That's using the code that we have on the screen here. So I will copy that over. Next, now we'll set up an account. Prompt it to access the local weather, sure. Like to use our location, sure, why not? Blur that out. Home IQ can help track HVAC system usage, sure, keep that going. There's some other information. It is a other square footage. So the house square footage is between 3,500 and 4,000 square feet. Number of floors including basement, 3. My home was built in 10s, that's the latest we can go. With Siri's help, you can change the temperature without lifting a finger. We'll pair that later because we're going to be using Alexa. Loading data. We'll go ahead and click finish on the Ecobee. Congratulations. Yes. The reason it's showing 77 right now is because we have some studio lights behind us, so this area is a little warm, but that is the current temperature. We are able to control it from our phone as well, as you can see prompted below as I'm changing it on the phone. So there you go. We are set up via Wi-Fi, and we can go through all these other settings, but we're not going to worry about any of that right now. We will probably touch more on that in another video. But for now, we need to go ahead and set up some sensors. Alright, so we have these 3 room sensors we're going to be adding to the Ecobee. It's a really simple process. All we have to do is pull the tab while we're in front of the Ecobee, and it should recognize it right away. So let's see if it works. We're going to be adding all 3 of these. So it does say that we need to make sure that is awake. So I'll set the temperature, and it is awake. Let's go ahead and pull the tab on the first one. Remote sensor. It appears you have a remote sensor installed. Would you like to pair it with your Ecobee? Yes. The first one we'll call bedroom. We're going to put it in the bedroom. We'll have it active during all 3 settings for now. Congratulations, you have now been paired. To change the sensor settings, it says to go into menu sensors, and we can play around with that in just a minute. We're going to go ahead and get all these paired up. So I want to put the bedroom one to the side for now. This one, go back to the main menu, pull the tab on the second one. Here we go, popped right up. This one we're going to call office. We're going to put this one in office. Next, congratulations. Now we have the office as well. And the last one, popped right up. This one we're going to put in the cafe. We're going to enter our own name for this one. Cafe, all right. Finish. So now we have my Ecobee, which is the device itself, bedroom, cafe, and office. And they're all showing different temperatures right now because I've been holding them. They're probably not accurate right now. So let's go ahead and get these installed. They come on these little stands. For now, that's how we're gonna install them. We're just gonna set them on something. They do also come with some wall mount options. We're gonna figure out how it works and see how it works in this house, and we may install them on the wall in the future, but for now we're gonna use these little stands. So the last one we did was the cafe. So we'll go ahead and put this one in here. We're definitely gonna have to wall mount this one in the future, but for now, let's go ahead and set it right here on this window panel. It's gonna be a little bit colder next to that, but that's okay. So I have the office in my left hand, bedroom in my right hand. I don't wanna get these mixed up. We'll take this one into the office first. Let's see, a good spot for now is probably just right up here. Looks good to me. All right, to the bedroom. All right, so into the bedroom here. Since these do have motion sensors built in, we want to make sure we position it in an area where it will pick up motion from normal movements, I guess. We don't want to put it behind the TV, for example, because then it wouldn't be able to pick up our motion, and the heat from the TV would dissipate it. So I'll go ahead and put it on the nightstand over here. It would probably pick up motion from the bedroom. A permanent solution may be better up in that corner, maybe that corner. I'm not really sure. They're gonna have to determine what works best for them. But for now, the best feature of the Ecobee, that in my opinion, is the Follow Me feature. It uses these motion sensors / temperature sensors that you have around your house. We may have to add another one, maybe in the loft over here. But for now, this 3 of them is good. What it does is it uses the motion to determine which room of the house you're in. Say Stephanie's home alone and she's in the office all day, and that's the only room that is picking up the motion from these sensors. What that allows you to do is have the thermostat set to only that room. So let's say it gets a little bit chilly up here. It ignores these sensors and the cafe sensor, and it will only go off of the office sensor and keep that room comfortable and ignoring these rooms because they're not occupied. Let's say everyone gets home, or they're having a party or something after work, all these sensors get occupied, then it will adjust and take the average of every room and adjust the temperature accordingly. So that is my favorite feature. Let's go ahead and back down to the Ecobee and get that set up. So back on here, we'll go into the menu and into sensors. We're gonna set up Follow Me, which is already enabled actually. And like I said, it takes the average temperatures from the selected sensors that are recently detected motion. And Smart Home and Away is also by default enabled, which allows these, if your Ecobee3 senses that you are home during the scheduled away period, or away during your scheduled home period, it will automatically override those settings. So with SmartThings, we will be adding SmartThings to the Ecobee and using that built-in home and away to adjust the home and away settings of the Ecobee. But if, for example, for some reason the SmartThings registers you as away, but one of the sensors throughout the houses detects you are home, it will actually override that and allow the house to be comfortable, so you don't have to worry about having a cold house for no reason. It will automatically adjust that. So in the last video of this series, we set up the SmartThings hub. So let's go ahead and connect the Ecobee3 to SmartThings. I'll hop in the SmartThings app here, click on Marketplace down at the bottom, and then Thermostats, and we'll click on our Ecobee3 because this does work natively with SmartThings. So we'll need to enter our Ecobee credentials. Okay, so it says authorize SmartThings. SmartThings will have permission, blah, blah, blah. We'll accept that. Now it says your Ecobee account is now connected to SmartThings. Click done. select your thermostat. My Ecobee is what we called it. And it also found 3 sensors. So we're gonna go ahead and click all 3 of those sensors as well. Save. Now if we go back into my home, you can see that the bedroom, my Ecobee, office, and the cafe are all in there. So we can control our thermostat from SmartThings now. So let's go ahead and see how that works. We'll go ahead and turn the heat down to 66. There we go, 66 and holding. That took about, I don't know, 4 or 5 seconds, but that's not a big deal. I'll take it back up to 70. And there it goes. So it's got a little bit of a delay, but not a big deal. Also, one thing to mention, all of those sensors that we added, all 3 of those sensors can be used as motion sensors in SmartThings. So if we go to things, let's say office for example, it does state that there was motion in there. So we can use that to turn on lights in the office, for example. We go back up into the bedroom and it does state that there is motion in there. And it's a little bit different than a standard motion sensor, so it may not work in your use case because there is a bit of a delay between when you go into the room from when it detects no motion. For the reason being, if you were to walk in and out of the room a few times within a matter of say 5 minutes, you're not going to want the temperature to change in that room. It's not like you're not in the area still. So if you wanted to turn on the lights once the first time or something like that, it would work for that, but it's not going to work as well as other motion sensors will. So you may need to add another one. I think we're going to be adding a second sensor to these rooms because of that reason. But it does monitor the temperature in each room. You can use for different automations as well. So now our Ecobee is set up with SmartThings, so we'll be able to do a lot of other cool things once we get everything set up. Like I said, we'll be doing Alexa in the next video. So that's the Ecobee3 installation. It's a great product, one of my favorites. I have the Nest at my house. I wish I got the Ecobee instead because it works, I think, a little bit better. They're known to have really good customer support if you have any issues. Also, it works natively with SmartThings, so that's a big plus. That's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel and the notification bell is turned on so you don't miss any more videos in this smart home series. This is episode 3. Make sure you check out episode 4, which will be setting up the Echo devices throughout the house. We have at least 3 or 4 of them now. We're going to be adding some more, and we will have the whole home audio set up. This is a perfect house for a situation like that where the office is here, the bedroom is way upstairs. You can't hear each other, but maybe you want music going on in both rooms and drop-in features, which is like an intercom system. It's really awesome. So we will be setting that up in the next video, so make sure you are subscribed. Anyways, drop a like down below if this video helped you out, and I will see you in the next one. And remember, stay smart.